My name is Emma, and sometimes words slip out before you realize the weight they carry. That night, I said something I could never take back. Something that changed everything. It wasn't a heated fight. There were no screams or slammed doors. It was just a quiet evening, one of those nights where everything felt like it was slowly slipping out of my grasp, and I didn't know how to stop it. I was sitting at the kitchen table, flipping through an old photo album I had found while cleaning. Page after page showed snapshots of a different version of me, someone younger, freer, lost in the rush of a first love. Meanwhile, Matt, my husband of 5 years, stood at the counter making coffee. He seemed distant, the way he often did these days. He'd been quieter than usual lately, and I couldn't ignore the widening gap between us. "Hey, Matt," I said, my voice hesitant, unsure where I was even heading with this. I was just looking at some old pictures from before we were together. He glanced over, a crease forming on his forehead, as if bracing himself. The truth is, I didn't even know what was about to come out of my mouth. The thought of Jake, my first love, had been hovering in my mind, and before I could stop myself, the words escaped. Sometimes I wonder if I made the right choice. Maybe I should have stayed with him. The air in the kitchen froze. Matt's hand stopped mid-motion, the coffee pot hovering as if suspended in time. His face went pale. "What do you mean by that?" he asked, his voice tight, straining under emotions I couldn't immediately place. Hurt, anger, disbelief. Regret struck me instantly, but it was too late. The words were out, jagged and irreversible. I hadn't meant them the way they sounded. It wasn't really about Jake, not anymore. What I wanted to say was that I felt something was missing, that I felt adrift. But what came out was a knife aimed straight at Matt's heart. "I don't know, Matt," I said quickly, fumbling to soften the blow. "I just mean, sometimes I wonder what life would have been like if I'd chosen him. If things might have felt more fulfilling." I watched his expression twist, pain etched across his face. "Are you seriously telling me this now?" His voice was low, steady, but heavy enough to crush me. The second the words left my mouth, I knew I had made a terrible mistake. I saw the devastation spreading through his eyes, the silence between us growing unbearable. I had said the one thing that cut him to his core. "I didn't mean it like that," I stammered, standing from the table. I don't know what's wrong with me. Everything feels off lately." But Matt didn't turn to face me. His jaw was clenched tight, shoulders rigid. The silence pressed against me, suffocating. Finally, he spoke, barely above a whisper. "Maybe you're right. Maybe you should have stayed with him." His words sliced through me like glass. He didn't yell. He didn't argue. He just decided. He grabbed his keys, pulled on his coat, and walked out the door without another word. I stood frozen, unable to move, my body numb. I didn't chase after him. I didn't even call his name. Somewhere deep down, I felt like I had pushed him past the point of return. The hours dragged on, stretching into an endless night. No calls. No texts. Just silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. Lying awake in bed, I replayed our conversation again and again. Maybe I should have stayed with Jake. The phrase echoed like a curse. Why had I said it? Why had I even thought it? The next few days blurred together in a haze of guilt. I called Matt. I messaged him. Nothing. His silence grew louder with each passing day, gnawing at me. Slowly, I realized what I had risked losing. Our life together wasn't perfect, but it was ours. It was real. It was everything I had once dreamed of, and I had thrown it into doubt with a single careless sentence. Matt had been my anchor, the steady presence I depended on. And I had shattered that security. Apologies felt useless now. Ironically, my thoughts drifted more often to Jake. I wondered about the road not taken, what life might have been if I'd stayed with him. But the more I thought, the clearer the truth became. Jake was my past. Matt was my future. Marrying Matt had been the right choice. I knew it now, but realization came too late. A week later, a message finally arrived. Short. Final. "I think it's best if we take some time apart. I need to figure things out. I don't think I can keep doing this." I stared at the words, the finality sinking in. He was slipping away, and I had no way to stop it. The months that followed were agony. I tried everything to reach him, to mend what I had broken. But the distance only grew. No apology could erase what I had said. Because it wasn't just Matt I had lost, it was the trust, the bond, the love we had built together. I thought about the past, about Jake, about choices that could never be undone. And slowly, painfully, I understood the truth. The life I had with Matt was the one I was meant to have. And I had nearly destroyed it. If you're reading this and you've ever pushed someone away, ever let words slip that you didn't mean, don't wait until it's too late. Love is fragile. Words may seem small, but they carry the power to break something beautiful in an instant.